Some of the greatest anime alive are anime like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Hunter x Hunter, and Death Note. But what if I were to tell you they were not the greatest anime to have ever been created? There is one anime that's far superior. Their character development is on a different level. Their action looks superb. The story is just a big W. And of course, the animations are like a good cup of coffee in the morning. And that anime is called Cautious Hero. The hero is overpowered but overly cautious. Well, at least that is what Passme thought about when he was making his original top 50 list. All jokes aside, this is one of my favorite anime series out there. It's far from a perfect series. It doesn't have a phenomenal soundtrack. It's a very average plot. It doesn't have a super memorable cast. I doubt anyone remembers the character named Cerseus, because I don't remember him at all, until I looked up his name, of course. More than half the characters, I barely remember their names, including the main cast, except the main protagonist himself, Seiya. Then again, I'm going to get a comment from someone saying, well, actually, I remember this character, and then go on talking about how the writing of this character is on the same level as Neon Genesis Evangelion. God! Regardless of how memorable some of the characters are, the show does have very memorable moments, such as Seiya asking to buy 3 armors because he needs one to wear, one for a spare, and the last one is for a spare. Or when he tells a literal goddess to wait for him to train because he wants to be fully prepared for any enemy that comes across his path. Or after he defeats a small level 1 slime with one shot, he immediately wastes most of his magic on explosion spells to make sure there is no remains left, even though the slime didn't exist after the first attack. And even after annihilating it after the first attack, he kept on exploding that area for at least a good 10 minutes of non-stop explosions. What an overly cautious badass. This is by far my most rewatched anime of all time. Running a total of 13 times I have rewatched this anime. You might be wondering, what the fuck? And then proceed to ask yourself, what was so good about it justifying ranking it above JoJo's Bizarre Adventures and Hunter x Hunter? And it's really simple. Relatability. When I first watched the series, I got such a big laugh out of each episode. I fell in love with Seiya because of how ridiculous some of his actions were. I just had a complete blast while watching this series. I can remember a lot of parts of this anime very fondly. On my second watch through, I felt the same way. And even on my 12th watch through, I was still laughing at the same jokes he was making. And maybe I'm just cringe. This show became the anime to watch whenever I was feeling down and just needed to bring up my spirits. This anime has given me so much enjoyment through my time of watching it. From long days at work to me losing someone close to me, this show has always made my day so much better. Regardless of whether people think of it as a great show or a masterpiece, I would never call it a masterpiece or a phenomenal story that would blow your goddamn socks off. This show is nowhere on the same level as a master storytelling anime like Death Note or Hunter x Hunter, but it has brought so much more enjoyment in my life than I ever thought it would have. The main reason I would still rate it higher than most anime, and why I would rate it as my 22nd favorite anime of all time, is because of how much enjoyment I got out of the series. Do I consider it a perfect series? Of course not, but I consider it as one of the funniest series I have ever watched. The jokes and the bits played out throughout the show is fantastic. I couldn't stop laughing. We had scenes where Seiya and Valkyrie were on the bed in an awkward position. Seiya breaking Cerseus' mentality with him being brutal with his training. Making Cerseus, the god of the sword, the man so confident in his sword skills that he is willing to fight almost anyone. He scared this man so badly that he got him into baking. And that is why Seiya is such a badass in this series, and why he makes me laugh every time. He is willing to spread equality throughout the lands by slapping a girl in self-defense. Willing to protect a member of his party because she is supposed to be carrying his badge, and she can't do that if she's a sword. Being able to cut the hand off an individual without being in the same room. Destroying undestroyable forces of nature. Outsmarting a dragon with impenetrable skin by making them go off a cliff. And finally outsmarting everyone, including goddesses, by not showing his actual level, instead hiding it because of how cautious he is. He doesn't want someone taking over one of their minds and spilling his secrets. I enjoy a lot of these style animes. They may be really bad, but that doesn't mean that no good can be found within them. But at the end of the day, this anime is still better than JoJo's Bizarre Adventures.
You shut the fuck up! You shut the fuck up! You shut the